Roger Müller grew up in the suburbs of Zurich, the biggest city of Switzerland. As a kid, he practiced Switzerland's most popular sports, football and ice hockey. As many Chinese martial artists, he got infected by the legacy of the legendary Bruce Lee. When he was looking for a good training place, he discovered a local school in Urdor and started his formal training. The school back then was part of the Chun Athletic Association Switzerland and included the traditional Chun curriculum, Wing Chun and modern Wushu. His first trip to China with the Chun Association was in 1997 and brought him for the first time to the Shaolin Temple. Other trips in the early 2000s also brought him to the school of China's Wushu legend, Zhao Zhangjin, where he trained for half a year modern Wushu. Roger Müller was member of the Swiss national Wushu team, but wasn't able to take part at international championships due to a serious knee injury. Other trips to China followed, but then the focus changed to traditional Shaolin Chuan. He was lucky to be accepted as disciple by his Shifu, Urdor, who is teaching him the traditional style. In 2005, he got the opportunity to take over the school where he learned since childhood. It gave him the opportunity to focus on Shaolin Chuan and Wing Chun, which is since then the curriculum of the Swiss Chinese Kung Fu school.
So the first touch point with Kung Fu was when I was 15 years old, so very late indeed. I started here in Urdor, in my current Kung Fu school. When I was a child, I played often football and hockey, but then I made some thoughts for myself. I listened to my inner voice and I thought about I want to learn something like Bruce Lee did. So then I went to the library, I borrowed some books, and then I read them, and it was absolutely that what I'm looking for. And then I joined this Kung Fu school, which opened in 1995 as a student, and from the beginning, from the first second, I was very happy to be here. And this was my start in 1995. So when I started, I was very interested in not only in the physical parts, also in the theoretical parts. So I asked my Shifu here in Switzerland, how can I get to China? And then he told me, because I was a member of the Chun Federation here in Switzerland, that they organize a trip to China in 1997. So I took part there, and it was when I arrived in China, I call it from then on my second home. So then I met there my Shaolin Shifu. His name is Liang Qihong, and 1 year later, in 1998, I stayed there for 1 month. In his Kung Fu school and trained with him, and till now he's like my second father. Since more than 25 years, it's my passion. I love it every day. Not only the physical Kung Fu skills, also different kinds of the history. As an example, I sit here on a tea table. That's also Shaolin. Calligraphy, as a lot of people do, or meditation. So there are a lot of different things which I like. Not only how to kick, how to punch, or how to do a Tao. There are so much more things in this topic. That's why I love Shaolin Kung Fu. I mean, when I arrived at the first time, it was definitely different to these days. I really like these places where the tourists not are there. In the temple, of course, there are still some, and they changed my mind, of course, because here in Switzerland I'm every day busy during my work, and when I'm in China, in Shaolin, I can settle down, how to say, calm down and settle myself. So yeah, it changed my mind during the last 25 years, definitely. Yeah, I started Wing Chun in this room here in my Kung Fu school, also 1995, because as I told, I was a member of the Jinwu Federation, and here in Switzerland it is a little bit different than to the Jinwu in, let's say in China. The head of Jinwu Switzerland, he also taught Wing Chun, and that's why I learned Wing Chun as a complementary style to the Shaolin Kung Fu. And I started here, and then first I was not that interested like in Shaolin or in modern Wushu, but after maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years I saw the idea about Wing Chun, and then I trained it more often, of course. I mean, Wing Chun here I learned from Chao Pokien, from the head from Jinwu Federation here in Switzerland. But when I left the Jinwu Federation, maybe 15 years ago, I went to Austin Go in London because I knew that Austin was the teacher of Chao Pokien, and I also invited Austin Go to Switzerland to train and learn more about his Wing Chun style, because he was a student of Li Xing. Li Xing was a student of Yip Man, and when he moved to England, he taught to several Kung Fu masters like Austin Go or Samuel Pok, these kind of teachers. Till today, I love it because it's, as I told, it's a complementary style to Shaolin, for self-defense, for short distance self-defense. I really like it. The fascinating thing is it's very fast, it's very straight, it's how to say, so the 1-inch punch, the legendary one from Bruce Lee, so you don't have to punch 20 times. You can fight against your opponent and just hit him twice, 3 times, and you can defend yourself in a very economical way, very smooth, very fast, very direct. That's why I like Wing Chun.
In the classes of the Swiss-Chinese Kung Fu school, traditional Gong Fu is not taught in the common way, style-specific. Roger Müller is teaching it in a symbiotic way, which means that every single lesson has elements of both Wing Chun and Shaolin Chuan. Every training consists of a warm-up, basic exercises, partner exercises, application, and specific elements of Wing Chun and Shaolin Chuan techniques.
For me, for myself, Wing Chun is more or just physical. How to defend myself against someone. Shaolin is for me a culture. It's not only punch, kick, defend, attack. It's a whole-in-one culture. I can talk 1 or 2 hours with my Shifu about theoretical things. I can talk about Qigong in Shaolin Chuan. I can talk about meditation, Taolu and all that kind of stuff. It's more a cultural thing than a physical thing from my point of view. So that's the difference between these two styles in my point of view. And as I told, I connect them to one style here in Switzerland. But of course, when I go to China, I just learn one style.
Since the 1990s, the Swiss Chinese Kung Fu School is the place in Urdor to learn traditional Gong Fu, and Roger Müller is transmitting to his students what he learned from his teachers and masters since the early Chin Wu days and later specifically in Wing Chun and Shaolin tribe.